Well, the Marshall House was for us such a tremendous find because I knew nothing about, while I was working in the kind of magazine lifestyle sector where we did feature a lot of houses and interiors and so forth, I didn't have an understanding of Australian architecture. So my reaction to this house was intuitive rather than from a point of, oh, it's a Bruce Rickard house. A friend had shown me pictures and we came on the first open day. So it was actually, which I think is a good thing. The response was immediate and intuitive rather than intellectual. I think what is most distinctive about the house is that there's no front door. So it's a kind of wall of doors, glazed, all to the north, because Bruce Rickard was all about orientation for light, and so he was determined that you would get maximum winter sunlight. And so you come down quite a steep hill and then you turn into this very open, friendly face of the house, which is a courtyard that faces north, that gets the sun. And then it's a very open space. So the planning is, living, dining and kitchen. And he's clever. He doesn't want the kitchen. He always said, I don't want the mess of a kitchen to be exposed. So it's actually hidden behind the brick, which is kitchen on one side and the fireplace on the other. So it's one very simple solution to those two issues. And then you go through to a deck, and that's where you see the view. So there is a sandstock brick wall because the house faces west, so that then it doesn't get too hot. So when I was there on the open day, people were saying, oh, well, obviously you would knock this wall through. And what people don't realise is that then you would need air conditioning to counteract the heat from the westerly sun and so forth. So this house isn't air conditioned, it's all about through breezes. It's interesting when you live in a house. Before I'd spoken to Bruce, and before, as I worked on this architectural project, I actually appreciated him more because I could kind of begin to see the layers of things that he'd done, and often they're very simple and quite economical. So above the beds there is a timber shelf, and underneath there are two light bulbs that you screw in, and that's your reading light. So he's been very interesting with how he's dealt with light even in a big continuous space like this one, because different switches control different light. So you just have pools of light. It doesn't need to be lit in a blanket fashion all the time. So there are those subtleties. All of the things in the house are there for a reason. There isn't any indulgence. They're there to look beautiful or to actually be functional. Well, the children, as they grew up, became very conscious that it was a very particular house, and they'd go to their friends and they'd come back and go, why can't we have a sort of 60-inch TV screen, and why don't we have a swimming pool? And then as they began to get older, they became quite protective of it, and they really understand it, and I think they're very proud of it. And what Bruce is very clever at is that connection with nature. So, the sky and the changing skies are very much a part of daily life. And the children will go, Mum, this is a lovely sky. Do you think it's good enough to Instagram? They understand that there is beauty in that observation. And I think that's quite a powerful thing, actually, to pass on to your children. What's interesting is that the people before us had 3 boys, so it's a robust house. People have grown up in it, and we have been here now for nearly 14 years, so people stay a long time. And it will be interesting to see what happens in the future. I can see someone else coming in and putting their own things in, and I like that, actually. I like the idea that it has a continued appreciation and use, but it's very hard to control those things after you've gone.